Yo, what's good? Came on. So we're back in my studio, and I am sitting in front of my Moog Sub37. I talk about this keyboard a lot, and I feel like the main reason why I bring it up so much is because it plays such a big role in my library. This thing is on damn near everything that I've released, whether that's through a bass line, a lead, an effect, some type of pad. Really, like, it's super flexible. It all really depends on the sound that you make and how you manipulate it and how you process it in the end. Because with effects, with like delay, reverb, compression, phases, with anything you can think of, you can transform your sound into something crazy. And I really utilize that. So today, I just wanted to kind of go through and build a patch. At least like the way that I do it for creating sample libraries. I'm gonna try to build either a bass line or a lead. I'm just kind of, I guess I'm just gonna wing it. So right now, I have the init patch, and that's usually done by holding the init button. You hold it down and it gives you like a clean patch. And then I am just gonna try to explain my process as I'm building it. What I'm gonna do is maybe turn on the first oscillator, see what I'm messing with. Turn everything else off. I don't need over the multi-drive, I don't need sub, noise, I don't need feedback. For the oscillators, I don't like turning them all the way up. I put them at about maybe 12 o'clock. And then let's see. Right now I'm choosing the waveform. So we got a square. Usually like going for like a sawtooth is usually my favorite. And then what's really cool with here is that you can go in between all the type of waves. So I usually just pick whatever I feel sounds good in the moment. Oscillator 2, introduce a new oscillator. And here, we're doing the same thing. I'm just kind of choosing a type of wave. And over here on the left, I just, I took it up an octave. I'm just gonna keep it in the middle. And then for each of the oscillators, I'm gonna play with the octave. Let's go with the highest. It gets really interesting when you, let's say for oscillator 1, you put it all the way down, and then for oscillator 2, you put it like at 4. So you can get some interesting sounds like that. For this. I like the aggressive sound, but for this patch, I'm gonna try to go for something a little soft. Maybe a little multi-drive. Now, like the multi-drive, this is a great feature on this synth, because this thing adds so much beef and warmth. So if I were to create like a bass patch and shoot this all the way up, you can get some ridiculous like bass patches. You just using this and a little bit of the feedback too. But I'm just gonna keep that maybe at like, I don't know, put it like at 9. Alright. So we're almost there. Start playing with the envelopes. And again, sound design is still kind of new to me. I've been forcing myself to create my own patches from scratch, especially on the Moog, and then even on the Prophet, but the Prophet's a whole nother beast. But I feel like the Moog is just a lot easier for me to see what I'm working with as far as the panel goes, because everything's kind of laid out for you. So I'm able to dive in and kind of manipulate stuff a lot easier, because I know where everything is. Where in the Prophet, I mean, it's kind of like the same thing with the Prophet. Everything's on the panel, but trust me, it's just a lot more, but I'm slowly learning. But here, you know, again, I'm doing my best to kind of maneuver and like talk throughout my process, but I'm still learning, so I don't know what a lot of this shit really means, but I have a good idea. So playing with the envelopes here, like the attack, get rid of like that click sound in the beginning. Play with the release. Another thing I like to do too is messing with the frequency knob here in the oscillator section. So what I'll do is I'll shoot that. So if it's right at 12 o'clock, it seems like everything is kind of aligned. But when I shift it slightly right, it gives me like a really interesting chorus effect, which I like a lot. So I'll keep that. So I'm playing with the emulator or the envelope amount. So I'm liking that so far. Maybe add some sub. I think what that does, that kind of just introduces a square wave into the sound, which is cool, but I'm not sure if I'm going for that right now. So I can just turn that off. Like the resonance is really cool. Depending on how I'm feeling, I'll add a little resonance here. I'll just keep it fairly low. That sounded more like a bass line. I know I was gonna say like a lead or a bass, so I think we're definitely going in the bass direction. So that's very like low end heavy. It's kind of got like that funk sound, which I really like. I'm a big fan of that. So another thing I'm gonna see if I can introduce is some LFO. So that way when I play with the mod wheel, I wanna be able to modulate the sound. So the way I do that is I look at the LFO in like mod 1 and I tweak the LFO rate and I put it to like about 12, and I make sure that the mod 1 source is at a sawtooth, and the pitch amount I put it slightly past 0 going right, and for the filter amount I go maybe, what is that, I want to say maybe another tiny bit to the right past 0 to the right on the filter amount, and for the mod amount again slightly to the right. So now when I play with the mod wheel, it kind of makes that wavy sound. So, and even that too, like when you put the LFO all the way up to 100 and you put the mod wheel up, it almost sounds like distortion. Which is a little trick. But that's just because like the LFO is going like crazy fast. So when it's like extremely quick, it just kind of makes like a gritty noise. So I'll put it back to 12. Put the filter back down. I'm playing with the Moog, one thing that I really enjoy doing is while I'm playing, I'll play with the filter amount to kind of give the noise some more character. So that way it's not just like a stale sound throughout the whole composition. So I feel like that's what this keyboard is known for, is like that filter. So make sure to utilize it. And that's with the actual hardware, and even with the VST. You can, I'm pretty sure you can create some type of like automation thing with the filter. So as you're playing, it kind of fucks with the sound and gives you that same effect. Actually, let's go back to like a lead type of sound. Let's, So I'm gonna stop here as far as building the patch. I'm pretty happy with that. It's pretty basic. At this point, I would probably give it a name. And then I would start introducing some effects. So I'm gonna reach over to my computer and open up one of my favorite reverbs, which is the Valhalla Room. And I just turned it on in FL Studio. So I'm gonna give you an example of what that sounds like with the reverb. So it gives it like a really spacey sound. Another trick that I like to do is adding this plugin called Reels, R-E-E-L-S. I love this plugin. It's one of my go-to tape plugins when I'm just jamming either on the road, when I'm jamming on the roads or on the Moog, and it adds like this wobble tape effect. It's awesome. So. So it's subtle, but you know, it adds something. Another one is just chorus. I feel like chorus really opens up the sound and gives it like a dreamy sound. So I'm using the MicroShift chorus. It almost acts like a stereo shaper because I feel like it kind of pushes the sound left and right, but it adds a really nice full sound to it. Also too, because the Moog is mono, everything is obviously right in the middle, and this kind of opens it up a little bit, which is nice. Now I'm just going to throw on all the effects that I mentioned earlier, including an extra tape, and we're going to get something kind of unique, you know, kind of messing with sound design. So yeah, I hope this was a little helpful. Again, this is kind of me just jamming. This is kind of what I would do when I'm building a patch from scratch. So yeah, have fun. build your patches, add effects, and experiment. That's honestly the main way that I learned how to do things, and the possibilities are literally endless. Expect more of this type of video coming soon. Again, this is my first attempt at doing something like this. This is only going to get better moving forward. Share your thoughts, how I can improve. As far as like the videos go, I would love to hear from you. So make sure to like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Thank you.